This video introduces the foundations of Confucianism, moving from the historical political context of the Zhou dynasty to fundamental personal ethics. We will examine the political, historical, and ethical frameworks of this philosophy, preparing the groundwork for advanced topics like medical ethics and death. At the core of Confucianism is Shao, or filial piety. This is not simply one virtue, but the master key. It unlocks and governs all of Confucian ethics, influencing the individual, family, society, politics, and even the sacred realm. Confucius lived during the Spring and Autumn period, from 771 to 476 BCE, a time of profound structural decay. Centralized Zhou dynasty power was severely weakened, leading to the decline of traditional feudalism. Confucius traced the chaos to rulers who violated their role obligations, breaking the family-nation structure. Confucius, or Kongzi, was born in the state of Lu in 551 BCE. After witnessing catastrophic failures of leadership, he traveled as an itinerant teacher, urging overlords to restore moral governance. When none listened, he returned home, dedicating his remaining years to transmitting the 5 classics and the moral order they enshrined. Confucius saw his role as a transmitter, not a founder, reviving the values of the early Zhou dynasty, which centered on filial relations. His diagnosis of the Spring and Autumn period was profound moral corruption. The core texts of this tradition are the 5 classics, plus the Analects recorded by his disciples. To cure moral corruption, Confucius prescribed humanity, or Ren, rooted in the parent-child bond. This supports the ideal of family-based feudalism, Fengjian, where moral structure aligns with political hierarchy. This intentionally unequal society is built on defined moral roles, or rectified names, strictly dictating one's duties based on position. The Confucian worldview operates on a cosmic hierarchy, from heaven down to the individual. Heaven possesses all virtue and mandates the ruler. The ruler must emulate heaven, and the family is the minimal unit where humanity, Ren, is practiced, serving as the template for all other relations. The moral life of the individual begins with their duty to parents. Realizing humanity in society requires navigating strict relational hierarchies, known as the 5 relationships. 4 out of 5 relationships mirror the parent-child structure: ruler to minister, father to son, husband to wife, and elder brother to younger brother. The only equal relationship is friend to friend, or student to teacher. Shao is the prototype for all of these bonds. Humanity, Ren, is composed of loyalty, zhong, and empathy, shu. Loyalty means being true to one's social role, leading to sincerity. It includes inward loyalty, moral consistency, and outward loyalty, fulfilling social obligations faithfully. Empathy, the golden rule, involves extending consideration to others through one's own experience, first taught through care of parents. The rectification of names, zhengming, ensures that titles match what should be, upholding Confucius's quote, "Let the ruler be a ruler, the subject a subject, the father a father, the son a son." A name is a moral obligation. Zhengming is the process of fixing the moral order of every role. This process begins with the father-son relationship, the paradigm for all other filial norms. According to the Analects, the failure of filial roles causes a cascade of societal collapse. If names are incorrect, language fails, and affairs cannot succeed. This leads to ritual faltering, which results in punishments being improperly awarded. Ultimately, the people are lost as to what to do with themselves. Filial piety, Shao, is defined as a strong sense of respect, loyalty, and duty toward one's parents and ancestors. The character is an image of a son supporting an elder. Shao governs conduct toward living parents, deceased ancestors, rulers, and heaven itself. As the classic of filial piety states, it is the source of all benevolence and the root of ethical cultivation. In the domain of the individual self, Shao is foundational. The first duty is physical integrity, protecting the body as a gift from parents. Harming oneself is harming them. Filial piety also demands moral self-cultivation to become worthy of one's birth. Finally, preserving one's reputation brings honor to the entire lineage, fulfilling a key filial duty. The family is the moral lab where virtues like obedience, care, ritual, and memory are formed. Practical applications of Shao include serving living parents according to ritual, observing strict 3-year mourning after death, performing ancestral sacrifice, and, crucially, ensuring lineage continuity by producing heirs. Societal order is an extension of Zhao. The saying goes, "The filial son, when he serves his parents, serves his ruler with the same loyalty." Social bonds, guanxi, are extensions of familial bonds. Renqing, human feeling, governs social obligations and reciprocity. All expressive ties, like business and civic life, borrow their moral vocabulary from the family. In the political domain, the ruler acts as a father. Political authority is modeled on the parent-child relationship. The ruler's mandate, Tianming, is based on virtue. A minister's loyalty is total, modeled on a son's, but is contingent on virtue. The loyal minister's duty includes remonstrance, gently correcting the ruler's errors, just as a filial son corrects a parent. Shao extends into the sacred domain. Heaven is the ultimate parent, and the ruler's relationship with heaven is filial. Death does not end Shao. Ancestral sacrifice maintains the living relationship with the dead. This focus on ritual and memory sustains the lineage's sacred identity, binding the living and the dead. The boundary of filial piety, Shao, has changed over centuries. While the Western Zhou focused on lineage elders, the Eastern Zhou included parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. By the Warring States period, it narrowed primarily to living parents. The character remains the son supporting the elder, demonstrating respect and loyalty. In medical ethics, the body is considered a gift. As the Shaojing states, one should not let it be damaged. The duty is physical integrity, maintaining the body out of gratitude. The ultimate return is a complete body in death. Historically, judicial punishments involving mutilation carried severe filial and spiritual consequences because they damaged the gift. Confucianism differentiates between instrumental and expressive ties. Instrumental ties are for pragmatic goals, like business or professional alliances. Expressive ties are rooted in deep emotional connection and affection, valued for emotional support. Family relationships, governed by Shao, exemplify expressive ties. The concept of the self is framed by concentric circles of social identity, called the psychosociogram. Guanxi is the web of relationships tracing back to the family. Renqing are the human feelings and social obligations extended outward. The allocation of resources and affections is governed by Ren, Yi, and Li, with the individual's moral identity constructed from these layers, with Shao at the center. Shao serves as the architecture of the entire Confucian world. It is the core concept, linking the individual, family, society, politics, and the spiritual domain. Removing Shao causes the entire structure to collapse into moral anarchy. Rituals for the dead are the ultimate extension of filial piety, maintaining the relationship beyond death. Confucius defended the 3-year mourning period, mirroring the 3 years of dependence in infancy. The memory of the ancestor, maintained through home altars and rituals, forms the ongoing sacred identity of the lineage, binding the living and the dead. Part 2 explores the relational self, identity, honor, and the name that outlives the body. In the Confucian view, you are not a person who has relationships, you are the sum of your relationships. Western liberalism views the self as an atom, complete prior to chosen relationships. Confucianism views the self as a junction, constituted by its relationships. The self, represented by the character Wo, is layered with names like son, brother, student, and citizen. Identity is not pre-existing, but is built by these roles. You become human through the accumulation of names, like building blocks. The foundational brick is the son or daughter, representing filial piety. Subsequent bricks, like brother, student, and citizen, expand duty outward. Society is the architect, and refusing a brick is refusing one's humanity. Zhengming dictates that identity is performance, not feeling. A name is a moral contract that prescribes behavior. To lose the name is to vacate the identity, becoming a ghost. Identity is defined by how faithfully one performs the duties of their assigned names. Inner authenticity without outer performance is irrelevant. The self is a web of many names, governed by graded love, ai yu cha deng. Family names carry more moral weight than professional names. This is the holographic self. Failure in one area, such as being a bad son, immediately taints all other identities. The bricks are inseparable. In the holographic self, if one brick cracks, the entire tower wobbles. A private scandal immediately destroys a public identity. Your present performance determines the reputation of your lineage for generations, making you a custodian of a name, not its owner. Modern names, like doctor or activist, are new ritual obligations. Performance is existence. In the calculus of honor, the name outweighs the body. Biological life is finite, animalistic, and passive. The social name is infinite, uniquely human, eternal, and earned. A rectified name, built through moral performance, outlasts the temporal body by centuries. A living body with a dead name is a walking corpse. Death before dishonor, exemplified by practices like harakiri, rectifies a ruined name. Martyrdom completes virtue. Sacrifice of one's biological life preserves the honor of the entire lineage, which is the most rational moral exchange possible in the Confucian calculus. The ultimate exchange contrasts the living corpse with the immortal name. The living corpse is biologically alive but morally extinct, an official abandoning duty or a son neglecting parents. The immortal name, though biologically dead, is socially and morally immortal. Those with immortal names are invoked at altars and written into history, for names do not decay. Confucianism concludes that the moral must take primacy over the biological. If the self is its names, the destruction of those names means the self ceases to exist. Dying to protect or restore one's name is the ultimate act of self-preservation at the social and moral level. Discarding biological life for honor is the ultimate realization of being human. If death is the non-existence of self-identity, and the self is the sum of its names, and those names can be destroyed while the body breathes, then the question remains, who are you? Are you your body, your name, or your reputation? Or are you only ever the performance of the answer until the performance ends? This concludes our video on the foundations of Confucianism, the meaning of Zhao, and the nature of the relational self. Thank you for watching.